Shakun, first of all, a warm welcome to you on Filme Shilmy, and I'm been a huge fan of your films actually, especially Ek Mein Aur Ek Tu. So I just wanted to firstly say that to you, and congratulations on Gehraiyaan.
Thank you
Um,
so much, man. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
from the onset, you've created quite a cinematic universe by presenting dysfunctional relationships, self-discovery, and unconventional romance throughout your works over the years. And I think even infidelity too, as we saw in Kapoor and Sons. So to what extent has this development helped you with creating Gehraiyaan?
Well, I definitely don't think I could have been here without having done the homework and the groundwork on my previous two films. Um, and just overall, as you grow older, you feel a little more handle on these things. You feel that you've grown up, a little more mature. And Gehraiyaan is also a story about characters in their late 20s, early 30s. So obviously, I couldn't have made these films before, and definitely age helps.
Right. When it comes to infidelity and emotions, relationships beyond societal norms, we've seen quite a few path-breaking Hindi movies, like Ye Nazdikiyan, Silsila, and Kank, to name a few. Uh, so I guess in that sense, in what way does Geraya differ regarding the representation of adultery and flawed human beings with modern times?
Yeah, absolutely right. I don't think, I mean, I'm very aware of great cinema that has been made, on the same lineage. And I really want to just follow in those footsteps. I think one thing that we're trying to do to, well, I think previously some of the infidelity movies have been made under the garb of finding the soulmate, and I don't think this is the movie where they're trying to find a soulmate. They are just,
Hmm.
trying to find themselves, if anything. And secondly, I feel it's yeah, I would say that I think it's a story about finding yourself and not finding the one, and that kind of makes it different. And I have deep respect for movies that have been made before. I just feel over the last few years, unfortunately, we haven't seen too many of these, and I just wanted to stir a little bit of that conversation again. So decided to go in
Right.
this direction.
Yeah, definitely. Having an intimacy director on board has been such a progressive and important step, I think, for Hindi cinema, and cinema generally, I think. How would you describe the process of collaborating with one to bring out the emotions you require for the film?
Oh, Dar Guy, who's the intimacy director, is also a very close friend, and I think her contribution is immense. Just to create that kind of environment where people feel safer, secure to share. That their what they like, their boundaries, consent. Definitely a huge step in terms of how we approach intimacy in Hindi films, and that was really the intent. We wanted to reform the system a little bit, change things a little bit, and I hope it's here to stay.
Hmm. Hmm. And I think it must have been really, important for you as a director to make sure that, you obviously to not titillate the audience because that's not what the whole objective is, right, of Gehraiyaan.
100%.
And I've seen a lot of the press interviews as well that the cast have been doing. So I guess that must have been the main focus for you, isn't it?
100%. I don't think we want anybody to discuss intimacy separately outside of the film. Your hope is that by the time the movie is over, you're only discussing story and characters, and I think, but at the same time, you want to give intimacy as a department the respect it deserves, just the way you give choreographers or action directors or any other HOD that kind of respect. I think it's time we also don't suppress and be too hush hush about that and kind of talk about things a little more openly because that's what really allows for a safer place.
Right. Now, Shakun, you're not one to make cinema in bulk. I think you choose your projects quite sort so much give, basically. And I think that's something which I've also really admired, but then I've also wanted to see more of your work because I've loved your films so much. Um, so, after helming an intense film like Gehraiyaan, what story or style would you be keen on exploring next? Because I love that whole dysfunctionality that you really bring into your films.
Well, well, good question. I think what I'm looking forward to though now is I would love. to do something lighter again. I think Kapoor and Sons and this both have, been pretty intense in terms of, making just the performances and the drama of the film. And I really look forward to doing something just lighter and easier, because I think that would just give me some breathing.
Yeah, yeah. And again, I think because there is that sense of dysfunctionality, Shakun, in your films, I presume, is that something which you also not inspired by, but something you sort of dwell on because of the fact that maybe you've experienced something of that sort in your life as well? Is that what helps you to sort of bring that through the characters you choose to present?
Well, I think all of us have been through some amount of challenges in our lives on a scale of 1 to 10. Obviously, fictionalize or dramatize things. Um, the idea is not to do things for the heck of it. The idea is that I genuinely have curiosity about certain things that I want to explore in my films. And, infidelity is something that I've been thinking about ever since I was in my late teens and early 20s. So for me, it's no surprise that it's been sitting in me, cooking over time before it came out. I don't know what's
Yeah.
next. We'll see where it goes.
So again, in Ek Mein Aur Ek Tu, it gave me that Woody Allen feel. It felt like a very beautiful love letter to Woody Allen. And then obviously when I saw the initial pictures of Gehraiyaan, where Deepika and Siddhant were on the beach, it gave me very strange, like not strange, but it kind of reminded me of Paolo Sorrentino, The Hand of God. It gave me that sort of a feel because of the way it was set. So who would you say, which filmmakers and movies are you most inspired by?
Definitely the earlier Hollywood directors, starting from Billy Wilder, Howard Hughes, Howard Hawks, um, uh, uh, Paul Mazursky, Woody Allen movies, Scorsese, obviously, John Cassavetes. Those are the guys that I would say had early impression on me when I started watching.
Right, right. Well, I think it sounds very exciting, and I think Gehraiya is definitely a film which is one which a lot of us are looking forward to seeing. I mean, as it is, I mean, I've loved Deepika's work over the years, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how Alisha will also be another very wonderful feather to her hat, and of course, with likewise for Siddhant, Ananya, and Dhairya too. So on that note, Shakun, it's been a dream to actually speak with you, and I'm really glad, thanks to Prime Video and thanks to Gehraiyaan, we've been able to do this. So thank you so much for joining
Wonderful.
me.
Thank you so much, man. It was wonderful. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
No,
Thank you.
no, thank you.
So Dhairya, Gehraiyaan is pretty much a Shakun Batra film in essence, because from the onset, he's created a universe which actually revolves around contemporary lives of Indians, dysfunctional relationships, and self-discovery, as well as unconventional romance, right? So how emotionally challenging was it for you to adapt to this sort of filmy world that he's created?
Firstly, hi Anuj, hope you're doing well. And again, it's an observation on he's a master of dealing with human emotions and portraying them so beautifully on screen. And it's just not about Indians; it's just about relationships in general. I mean, people could be anywhere around the world, and they'll still experience the same emotions in a relationship and the same complexities.
Right.
And it was a challenge that I was yearning for as a performer, because I am growing in my career, and the opportunity came. I feel has just come at the right time, where I have more responsibility, and then I'm just surrounded by such talented people, and it's all credit to Shakun, really, who creates such a conducive environment for all his actors, and he's such a collaborator that of course he has his vision, he has his clarity, but at the same time he'll give you so much freedom and liberty to just go and express yourself and perform, which is such a such a
Liberating.
feeling and such a high to experience, because it's that support is what an actor is looking for to elevate his game.
And I think what Gehraiyaan does, I think going by the trailer, and like, are we all just messed up people? I think what it does, it really does bring the gray into relationships and complex human emotions, even including regarding infidelity as well as a theme. So in terms of personality wise, is grayness something you naturally accept, or do you consciously try to change a particular trait or attitude which might be otherwise questionable by society? What is your sort of take on that in terms of grayness on you personally?
I mean, so through the film, I mean, we are seeing the complexities of modern day relationship from a neutral gauge. It's an observation rather than we directing our audience to feel a certain way. It's for the audience to take away from it. And my personal view on infidelity, I mean, again, through the film, we aren't saying anything.
Hmm.
We expressing it. Showcasing an observational point of view. My personal take, probably in my relationships, I wouldn't. I like to be honest, and that's what I'd expect from my partner as well. So and again, in the film, it's one part of the story. We are not in any way endorsing
I
infidelity.
think my question actually was about, because sometimes as human beings, see, ना कोई अच्छा चीज होती है, ना कोई बुराई चीज
Yeah,
होती है.
exactly.
But
Great.
what
Yeah,
happens is now,
we
because
all
sometimes,
have the side
yeah,
effect. Yeah.
yeah. So I think what my question was is like, how, like, are you quite accepting of that gray, personally as well in reference to
Yeah.
Gehraiyaan?
See, we know that side of us. It's that side that we conceal to the world, really. So of course, you accept it or not, somewhere deep down, you know those sides of you, right? And
Right.
and it's such a film that that'll probably make you introspect as well. It's that side that we really
Mm.
usually just conceal to everyone else, really. To the world, we conceal that side, but to when you're just by yourself, then you deep down you know that side of you as well.
Yeah, very well said.
And again, I
So I think,
again again when you're mm, um, when you're enacting such a character where you have to tap into those zones, and from your personal experiences or your side, I mean, it's fascinating then.
yeah, and speaking of that, actually, when you are playing such a character, and I know you kind of mentioned about Shakun's and how he was as a director, but I think for playing the character that you did, were there any references for you personally which you perhaps use and channelize that through the character that you were playing?
So there are certain traits which I would which Karan and Dhairya have in common, and some
Mhm.
not. So I mean, you start with the similarities, and then you build your build your character, and so you have a foundation where the similarities are, and then it's the differences is where you tweak, and then you have discussions with your director, your writer, what their vision is, how do they see Karan and how do I see Karan, and then you have discussions, you collaborate,
Hmm.
and then you have such fine actors around you that you subconsciously you don't realize it, but your game is elevated because you're performing with such fine actors. So
Mhm.
a lot happens even when you're filming, and you explore facets of your character which you probably didn't think of.
True, true. Yeah, I've often heard that happens actually with actors when you are surrounded by such greatness, right? As well, and you yourself are a great actor. I mean, I've seen your work. I mean, congratulations also on 83. Actually, I mean, that was a lovely film, and your performance was great in that. So I think so would you say like the journey you've had has been a gradual sort of build up to this on a final
Yeah.
note? Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I've grown with every part, really. Um, I started with Uri, a part, did my bit, was honest, auditioned, then I got 83, and from 83 here. So it's been a gradual progress, but I'm fortunate that I've been part of films which have done so well and which have been received so well. And there were some really bright minds attached to all the films, and I've just been fortunate to be around those people and on those sets to, you know, just observe and learn. So it's been a very fulfilling journey up till now, and, you know, just exciting times ahead. Yeah, it has been a gradual journey.
Great, great. Well, look, on that note, Dhairya, we've run out of time. So wishing you all the very best for Gehraiyaan, and I cannot wait to watch it on Amazon Prime Video.
Thank you, Anuj. I hope you enjoyed the film.
Thank you so much.